what do you tell your guys to keep them encouraged?
Stay with
I
it.
know it's early, but
Yeah, stay with it. We played and battled some tough teams. And the biggest message tonight is just stay the course. We talked about offensively and defensively being better in the second half, and I thought defensively we were really good in the second half. We competed. They scored some baskets, which they can do. But offensively, we just, we didn't take our shots when we were open. We turned down some shots. We did complete when we had, 2-on-1, 3-on-1 breaks. We didn't complete those. And then having 22 turnovers, against a team that wants to get out in transition. They want to turn you over and play fast. And so offensively, we didn't take care of that part. But in the first half, we were good offensively and, terrible in the second half. But defensively, I thought we did some really good things, throughout the course of the game. And it's something to hang our hat on. We got to continue to keep getting better offensively. We got to be confident in the shots that we're getting, that we're turning down, and then just making the right, simple play. And so just continue to keep building off that.
You needed a timeout, 30 seconds into that second half. What were you seeing that you couldn't let the team kind of play through? You had
Same thing we've been seeing the last few games. Start the third quarter, can't get open, slow pace. Not get into our offense, not owning our space, and then defensively, they had 3 offensive rebounds, I think, in 1 possession. So we didn't want to start the half out like that, and they came back, they responded, responded defensively for sure, and then offensively, you got to continue to keep getting better.
I know you've talked a lot about searching for some of those bench combinations that you like with guys that work together. Some of those groups struggled tonight. What did you see from some of those bench lineups that struggled?
Well, just trying to keep Zoo in, with that second unit, which has been, numbers-wise, been good for us. But Zoo, I think, got a little ran down today, a little tired, and he wasn't his usual self around the basket and finishing. So that kind of hurt us. We had a chance to get some dunks or, his little jump hooks in the paint, which we didn't finish tonight. So that's what allowed them to kind of get out in transition and kind of take advantage of us. But I did like it. I thought that was one of KP's best games as far as getting into the paint, making the right play, getting guys shots, getting guys involved. And it was good for us. So, coming back next game, we'll take another look at it, just kind of see with that second unit, having Zoo on the floor with those guys and see how it looks.
And Coach, James and Norm didn't start the fourth, and OKC was able to push their lead to 13, 93-80. When you guys struggle to score, do you ever think about maybe getting those guys in a little earlier so you can kind of keep pace so the game doesn't get out of hand?
Yeah, I think about it all the time. But if you watch the game, James Harden played the whole first quarter. So you can't bring it back, 1 minute into the fourth? So we got to stay afloat. That's why we kept him in the game. Like I said, I like that combination. I think Zoo did start the fourth, if I remember correctly, didn't he? Yeah. So I don't know what game you're watching, but don't worry about it. Huh?
Norman James.
Oh, Norman James. Yeah, we try to stay afloat in that third quarter, because they were scoring, we weren't really scoring as much. And then coming back with that second unit, the way KP has scored and assisted the basketball, we scored with that second unit, and having Zoo on the floor, I thought would be okay. But like I said, they had Shai out of the game. I thought there was a chance we can get James and Norm some rest, and they kind of extended the lead.
Coach, the last 2 games you guys jump out in the first quarter, and keep the 3-point shot was very key because you guys outmade the visiting team and then were able to stop them. Is there going to be any emphasis going forward to, hey, we got to make sure that we're knocking down these threes and contesting outside?
Taking our open threes for one, I think we probably turned down 7 or 8 today that we could have, taken. And so we got to be confident to take our shots. And then, with them, they made 16 of 39. So just making sure we're getting out to the shooters. We want to close the chest, make those guys put the ball on the floor. And then defensively, we can fly around, So they put you in some compromising positions, with Chet at the 5, and they flare and screen for him, pin downs for him, and Zeus trying to chase. And, we got to switch to flare screens, which in the first half we did a good job with. In the second half, we could have did a better job. So, they're a good team. They know how they want to play. They know the style they want to play. Their guys have been there. They're used to the system. And, that's why they were number 1 in the West last year. That's why they're 6-0.
Ty, with this trend of, obviously, it's a long game. Teams are going to make runs, but you guys play well to start these games, but then to close, it seems like maybe it's fatigue. I guess, is there a way to counter fatigue, or is that maybe not what you think is what you're seeing out there?
I ask myself the same thing every night. Tomer, just is it fatigue? Can we do something different? But same team, both teams are starting. The third quarter like we started in the first quarter. It's the same team, so we got to be able to come out in that third quarter. We got to have a mentality that we want to be aggressive defensively like we always are, and we want to attack. Like we don't want to be back on our heels. That's why I called the early timeout. I thought they took up our space. I thought they denied us. They got into us. And we didn't respond, until I called the timeout. Then we got a little better at it, but still just not taking shots that we need to take, being confident in our shots, and so and we're going to get better with that.
Are you guys still learning, or is Lue also still learning just how to play out of the post as a playmaker more now that he's getting more attention?
We got to give him more space. I think you can watch it and you can see it. We post feed, we want a baseline cut to take the defender away, and then we want to pick away with the guy at the top. And a lot of times we just stood, and so he had nowhere to go. He had to play in a crowd all night, and so that's not how we want to play when we post Lue. We want to give him space, and so we didn't do a good job with that.
Last one. Ty, you mentioned it's been a couple games now in a row. Come out in the third quarter, don't execute the message that you've been giving them. How does that change? Is it a different? Do you just get on them more? Do you kind of just let them play their way into it, or are there changes that you
call
have to
every
make?
time out until we get it right?
Call every time out until you get it right?
Yeah, I mean we responded. Like I said in the third quarter, they won the quarter 28-21. But I thought we responded. But it's just hard to beat good teams when you turn the ball over 22 times. Like if you're not getting shots on goal against these elite teams, it's hard to win games. No matter how good your defense is. And if we didn't turn it over 22 times, they might have scored 90 points, So we just got to be better taking care of the basketball, making sure we're getting shots, getting the right shots, and not turning down shots.
And then also in the first quarter, you guys took 16 threes. But then later on,
Say again?
in the first quarter, you guys took 16 threes. And then the other 3 quarters, it seemed like they did a really good job of also keeping you out of the paint. That's a place you guys have kind of lived through the first 5 games. What did you see that they were doing defensively that basically negated you guys in both areas?
I don't want to tell you.
You don't want to
I don't want everybody else to try to start. we need every advantage we can get, So, but, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, Justin.